Uncommon every day. Day 5, daily minimums. All right, so this is how I'll often start a session. Short range tricep work, short range abdominal work. I did have an abdominal injury earlier this year, a hernia of some kind. It felt like it was a tear in the lower abs, and it hurt to cough and to do just about anything. One of the worst things that I've had as far as injuries go, but it's gone. So some short range work for the abs is always smart at the start of sessions, given that. So about 30 seconds on hang variations, 30 seconds on supporting the body weight on the triceps. So yeah, some different variations there, pulling with the lats, pulling with the biceps. And yeah, these ones getting the elbows going. I also play around with different shoulder positions, get myself moving before a session. Some very light knees over toes, variation on the Poliquin step up, very partial Poliquin step ups here. Getting some blood flow going into the legs, making everything feel smooth. So you'll notice, maybe you noticed, that I'm playing around with faster video here, so keep these a little bit shorter. If there are any big lifts or anything that warrants slowing things down, then I'll do that, but otherwise I'll let the video tell the story a little bit faster. I think that's something that's more repeatable. But yeah, I can feel momentum building already, and my encouragement to you would be, like, document your journey, commit to something and follow through with documenting that journey. It's about you being the hero, and how would you live if there was a camera on you all the time? So one arm chin up work was part of what I did early in the session here. So I slowed it down for that. That was meant to be 1 times, but I don't know if the video's changed a little bit, but yeah. Anyways, played around with some one arm chin work. It wasn't super strong, but it was okay. The one arm chins, bottom position on push-ups. So even though they're inclined, because I'm getting that depth, that's all I really want, is to sort of open up the pecs. So like a long range pec exercise. It's not extreme long range because it's not pulling that full fascial sling, but yeah, getting some blood life into the shoulders and getting the elbows ready. Gentle upper body work, but getting things prepared, getting life into the body before I go into the snatches. If I snatch without doing anything before, then it can be a little bit like sort of glass versus warm rubber. Warm rubber is going to stretch before it breaks, where glass has very little flex. So heat changes the properties of the tissues. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for blood in the area. I'm looking for heat into the area. So yeah, big fan of these bottom pulses. Pulses in general allow us to train the specific range that we want to develop. Dips are feeling nice as well, which is good. Sometimes there's a little niggle in the tricep, or one of the shoulders doesn't feel great, one of the pecs, but at the moment it feels nice and smooth. So a couple of fingers helping, practicing that top part of the chin up. The top part and the very bottom, the parts that are limiting me, stopping me from having a one arm chin up at the moment. So they're the parts that I'm putting more emphasis on. Open up the ankles a little bit more. I can feel already my right ankle and the front of the right ankle is giving me a little bit more range. So I'm getting more comfortable with squatting full depth and getting the knees forward on both legs. The right ankle sort of felt a bit jammed yesterday afternoon. It sort of didn't want to move to start with, but back's feeling better as well. I was listening to John Bros yesterday talking about how your body lies. Your body doesn't tell you what you really need to know, just tells you. Getting like 3-second holds there in that kind of mid position on the chin up. But yeah, the body will always have some pain somewhere, and it will just move around the body, is the concept that John Bros was talking about, and it makes sense. It does seem as though there's kind of always something going on, and it doesn't necessarily matter what it is on any given day. You don't want to train through pain, but at the same time, you don't want to stop. You want to bring life into those areas, or at least that's what my philosophy for myself is. Bring life into any area, anything that's sort of niggling and not feeling great. The more you can get done, the sooner it's going to probably feel great again. I played around with some of these. I think they're called javelin press, or I don't know, but yeah, they felt quite good. Just making sure I'm getting some sort of pressing work in. I like to have some sort of pressing work in each session, since I want to press well over body weight in the standing press. Getting some more time in the bottom of the squat position, getting ready for snatches, and obviously working on the juggles. So going low, going high, going fast, going slow. This is how I bring up the juggles. Catch behind the neck, back to the feet. Yeah, it's a bit of philosophy for a long time that, there's no point being strong if you don't have the skill and the ability, the coordination, the balance to use it. The snatch is a great coordination balance exercise, probably the highest skill weight training exercise. There we go. So, yeah, I'm reasonably happy with how these are feeling. Like the one-arm chin is such an enigma. Like if you train it too much, especially these pulling exercises, it just doesn't tend to respond very well. Dog found its place near me. I'm not sure how she's going to feel about being right near me, moving the barbell like that. But yeah, let's see what she does. Getting comfortable with the bar at knee height, just bracing back, core. This is quite foreign. I haven't done barbell work for some months since we left SARC. Also just wanting that to be nice and smooth behind the neck before I start to... The wide grip behind the neck presses don't feel that comfortable, but they're okay, but there have been a movement that I haven't really been able to load up. It doesn't feel good to load up. So get the band out. It's beautiful to get some sun here. It's a bit warmer today than it was yesterday. There's a little bit of a cold wind there on this session. But, yeah, open up the pecs. This is a really key thing for snatch. I want to feel comfortable. If I did need to let the bar go behind, that it would be no big deal. Extra volume, bodyweight squats, just grooving that pattern, making the knees feel really comfortable. It's just so lovely to have knee tendons that don't tell me, hey, stop doing that every time I squat. I think for the first 20 years of my training, most of the time when I did squats, the message from my body was, hey, don't do that. Don't squat. Like that hurts. It was a bit of it was creating some sort of bleeding and trauma in the area, where right now there's no bleeding or trauma in the area of the knees. And you might say, well, yeah, it's because you're lifting fairy weights, and that is definitely part of the reason why. But it's also just because those tissues are healthier, the tendons are healthier. I can tell you that no matter what weight I used in the past, I wasn't able to let the knees go over the toes nice and smooth. So playing around with a banded variation of the one-arm chin, and that band is not strong enough for me to be able to do a full rep. So I've got the other one. Dog hasn't been too bad with chewing my stuff just yet, but she's still pretty young, so we'll see. We went for a big walk. We went for a run, actually. We had a bit of a run yesterday. I think it was our first run together. The ring kind of stuck in the wrong position, but yeah, with that big thick band, I could get like a one-arm chin. All right, so now I went for the slow-mo on these ones, having a bit of a look. Big thing at the moment is open up the thoracic. I'm still just battling a little bit for the positions. I'm playing around with not having to put the feet too wide. With the flat soles, no heel lift, it is more demanding on the thoracic spine, on the shoulders, to get into that bottom position with the minimalist shoes. I do have some weightlifting shoes, but they're in storage with all my other training gear, so hopefully that stuff will come soon. But yeah, I was mostly thinking about how to get to the bottom faster on these. That was the real objective, was can I get to the bottom quicker? If I can get to the bottom quicker, that's a good thing. I want the bar to go the least, not so high, the least height possible, and receive as low as possible. That's really the goal. If maximal snatching is the goal, is snatch for the sake of snatch rather than power snatch for athletes, then you want to be able to receive the bar as low as possible. And the less height you need to get on the bar to be able to make the lift, That's kind of the technical proficiency. So you'll see that even with 30 kilos, it got a bit uglier. It takes time to get confidence to receive the bar quicker. So ideally, I'll catch the bar at almost the highest point that the bar gets to. So I'm not trying to pull it up as high as I can because I want to get under, but I'm only able to sort of receive the bar with the hips around about the height of the knee rather than receiving the bar with the hips near the floor. But yeah, that's okay. Just getting a feel for it again. So these were some snatches, 30 kilograms, a bunch of reps. My heart rate was actually up pretty high. The main thing I'm looking for is that the sensation is pretty much the same in the left shoulder as the right shoulder, and that the knees feel good. And so, yeah, we're in the game, we're in the process, and that is the key. I didn't squat too much in this session apart from the snatches, but because I haven't been squatting with external load, then it's kind of enough for now. The goal is just to get better. If I'm getting better, then it's working. Like, I don't need to go faster than getting better. There's no real hurry to be in amazing shape. I'm not trying to snatch 100 kilos by the end of January. I want to snatch 101 kilos in 2022, but I'd like it to be a weight that I can hit on any given day, more so than just hit it once and then that's the last time I ever hit it. It's just kind of what happened when I got to 100 kilos last time. So here we go. This was 30 kilo squats, and this is on 3 times speed. You see the repetitions changed quite a bit in form in those early reps. You can see playing with different depths, different amount of knees forward. All those positions should feel comfortable. You want it to feel comfortable in all the positions. And for weightlifting, it is important to be able to make the lifts outside of your grooves and have like a bigger skill base, because it's not always going to sit exactly where you want it. And yeah, you're not dealing with the same absolute loads as powerlifting, but yeah, you want it to. So that was 37 reps at 30 kilos, which is nothing, but I was still breathing hard and got a sweat. And any weight on squats will make you work. And it's good. It gives me confidence for what's coming next. And so then some work for the hamstrings, and I sort of thought about, oh, cool, I can actually, only just really occurred to me that I can actually do quite a nice setup on the Nordics now. And it's not the best setup, it's not the easiest way, and this bench doesn't feel like it really likes it. It's sort of bending a little bit with my knees on it on the sides, but I should have my other benches here in the not too distant future. Did some juggling in between sets on the Nordics yesterday. So we did squats and Nordics and juggling. I'd like to the plan is to go back over 100 throws on the 5-ball and the juggling. So as the head gets further forward, it's heavier on the hamstrings, even though the hips aren't going forward. So I'm using the arms to be able to support my body weight, but yeah, you can see like my hamstrings are doing a significant amount of the work. They're not doing all the work, but they're doing a significant amount of the work because I'm able to do it up on the fingertips. I wrapped my tracksuit pants around the bar. I can probably find something better. I get a yoga mat or something. This movement is to get stronger out of the bottom of the Nordic. So if you don't have your Nordic, then chances are you can do some of these variations that I'm doing here. I put this up as a post all of its own, because yeah, everyone should start the Nordic if you want to have a full Nordic. Then RDLs are a really good preparation, but otherwise, like, doing these sorts of variations, whether it's on the back extension machine or the 45-degree back extension machine, I also put a variation for that. The little push-ups is just, it's you versus you. Like, you can feel how much you need to push up and how much your hamstrings are doing the work, but it allows us to get some higher repetitions. Initially, we want some higher repetitions because that's how we're going to learn the position. That's how the brain is going to connect to the hamstrings again. So, yeah, that's why I'm doing these sorts of variations rather than just going for it. And then we got some high-speed juggling here to finish. I was doing some different 3-ball and 4-ball variations. And yeah, it was a nice little session. And I finished up with a handstand. It's good to get at least one handstand every day. And that's uncommon.